What's up with the do? It's your girl Black Lacquer, and I wanted to so we're going to continue the videos on, I guess we're discussing how to handle grief or how to conquer grief. I don't know what we're calling this, but we're going to do it. And I wanted to share some things that happened, like when I was saying that the transition of my mom has been like the most devastating thing that's ever happened to me, but also I don't think that I've ever learned as much as I did during, well, just before and then during and then afterwards. Like it's almost like an awakening. It's like my mind was just opened. I'm pretty much an open person anyway. I think I'm not religious, I'm not Christian. Was brought up going to church and doing the whole thing, but at some point I pretty much got over it. And I remember I used to have like some really good conversations with my mom about this type of thing, but and once I talked to her about it, she was like, some of that makes sense, and to me it did. But anyway, one of the things that I remember happening, well, let me tell you about me. When I say like I'm open, I think I've had so many different experiences with what people would call supernatural or paranormal or whatever it is you want to say it is, pretty much probably from a young age. And I know when I was in like my early 20s or so, I had so many different experiences that I have shared it on YouTube, but I think those videos are probably lost forever. But anyway, one of the things that I used to discuss with her was that started happening later on. So I will have dreams, I will have visions, like flashes of pictures that really don't mean anything at the time, and sometimes stuff will happen, sometimes not. So I was talking to her about this feeling that I get. Like, say for instance, one time I woke up out of my sleep, and my chest was just heavy, heavy, and like I couldn't breathe or whatever. And the next day, I found out that somebody that I knew actually had a heart attack and transitioned. And then I had different dreams about people leaving this place, where they actually did, not right away or anything like that, but they did. And then I had a best friend that transitioned some years ago, and the things that led up to it was like me. The only way I can describe it, and this is how I described it to my mother, was like the feeling they said that Jesus had when he knew he was about to go get on that cross. That's the only thing that I can compare it to. It's like, I don't know if it's like a dread or it's just like a really somber feeling. It's just like I get really sad and depressed or something. I don't know. But anyway, that happened like right before my friend transitioned. And so she would just tell me, just whenever you have those feelings or whatever, just pray. And so when she was in the hospital, because it seems like it just happened pretty quick with her, but when she was in the hospital, my younger brother had stayed with her and sent me to go and get something that she needed from the house, something he needed or whatever. So while I'm going through looking for it, and y'all know we don't go through mama stuff. You don't go through your mama stuff. So I felt kind of like weird about going through her things. Like, this is crazy. And just all of a sudden, and I'm there by myself, and just all of a sudden, I stopped. Like, really just literally stopped in my tracks. And it came out of my mouth before I knew it. I was like, no, please don't take my mom. Please don't take my mom. And then it was kind of like just being in a trance or something. And I kind of like shook it off. And then I left. I never did find what I was looking for, but I left. And I didn't tell anybody about that. But then later on, the same feeling, like right before my mother transitioned, the same feeling came over me. That happened when I was not when but just before I lost my friend. It was the same thing. It was the same feeling. And it's like the days before that, like I don't want to get out of the bed. I'm just feeling like drained. I'm feeling like depressed. I'm feeling like heavy-hearted. I'm feeling like, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not no religious person, but I was brought up going to church or whatever. So it's just like, I'm feeling like I'm Jesus about to go get on this cross. All right. I just felt like burdened, if maybe that was it. But anyway, like I say, I never talked to anybody really about it because nobody really, to me, they think I'm crazy and they don't really understand. So I mostly used to talk to my mom about it, but that's actually what happened. I just stopped there and I'm like, don't take my mama. And so that was one of the things that that happened. So I'm thinking, like, if you are close to the person that has transitioned, then maybe if you think about it and you go back like the days before, and maybe some people just don't even notice things, but if you go back like some days before, like, are there things that you knew without knowing? Like, it's really strange, but it's true. So with that being said, I just kind of want to let you know, like, how I think and how things work for me, if that makes sense. And when I come back, I'm going to tell you some other things that happened that were actually pretty awesome. All right, so I apologize for the long video, and I will try to keep them to my regular 5 minutes after this. Okay, I'm out. Peace and toodles.